Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is my wonderful friend and client, Darla Paling. Welcome. So good to see you.
Thank you. It's good to see you.
I know, it's been a long time.
It's been a really long time.
Where are you at now? Where are you living?
I am in my house. We live in St. George.
Yeah.
So we've just come back from Arizona for the winter. So we are self-isolating.
Oh, fun.
Yeah,
This
lots
is
of fun.
this is crazy times, right?
Yes.
Well, let's get started. If anyone hears any screaming in the background, it's just a note to my clients. My son is having a calm out, so just disregard the high-pitched scream. Okay, so let's get started. So, Darla worked with me for how long was that, Darla?
Oh, 4 years.
4 years. Yeah,
I think it's been 4 years.
yeah, on and
Yeah.
off, on and off for 4 years, and she did a mixture of nutrition and counseling
Yeah.
and Reiki. Maybe some
We
Reiki.
did Reiki once.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So we did a little fusion. And yeah, why don't you tell our audience, just tell everybody like what inspired you to come to me, what you were dealing with, you know, all of the above.
Um, I first went to a class you had in Waterdown.
Yeah,
And there was something that you were saying that was resonating with me. Um, I had just retired. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. So there was something that what you were saying was resonating with me, and I wanted to learn more. So
yeah,
that's what really brought me
yeah,
to you in the first place.
yeah. Interesting.
So
And
yeah.
what was going on for you, like health wise or emotional wise, or what were some of the things that you were dealing with?
Um, well, the age that I am, I was dealing with hot flashes.
Yeah,
Um, Sleep interruptions was a
yeah,
big thing for me. Um, I think also I was dealing with just not happy with my body image.
yeah. I
You
remember
know,
that. Yeah,
those were the three, I think, things that I was really dealing with, and retirement I was dealing with. So it was a different time for me. Hmm.
yeah, yeah. It's hard, right? And yeah, exactly. And you were coming out, you had been a teacher for your lifetime, right?
Yeah, I had been teaching, and sorry, I'm petting my dog because she's whining.
We said it, we at the beginning when we before this video, we were saying it's either kids and dogs, like something.
Yeah. So yeah, sorry about
There's
that.
gonna be some kids and dogs interruptions in this video.
So yeah, I had just retired. I was dealing with not knowing what I was going to do from now on. I have always worked. So there was a lot of issues I needed to deal with around feeling comfortable doing nothing.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the things that I was really working through, was
Yeah.
that it was okay. We did a lot of counseling around, I am okay, I am enough. Um, I don't need anybody or anything else to
Yeah.
make me happy. Um,
Hmm.
so we did a lot of um, talking just about that and not feeling guilty. It was that guilt. It was the guilt of not working. It was the guilt of not following the most recent health trend. It was the guilt of eating carbs. And everybody says, oh no, you don't eat carbs, or you don't have the chocolate chip cookie. Like, it was just all of that guilt that I had to work through and say, you know something? If I want to eat a chocolate chip cookie right now, and if I want to eat the whole bag, it's okay. I'm
Yeah.
okay. If I want to be good, if I want to be the soups and the veggies and whatever, that's okay too. But I think that's something that you really helped me see, that wherever I was in that moment, that was okay.
That's
I didn't have to be guilty. I didn't have to feel that guilt about it. So,
so liberating, right?
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's such a freedom when we get to that, when we can get to that place,
yeah.
you
But
know?
it didn't happen overnight. Like you and
No.
I,
Yeah,
like,
there was a bit of a there was a,
yeah,
it
it's
was a
been an up.
process. It was a
It
process.
is, and I think it still is a process.
Mhm.
Um, I think, I think it's been. Well, I've been retired for, well, this is 3.5 years now. It
Yeah,
took me a good 2 years,
yeah,
I think, for me to really be comfortable.
yeah,
Um, People say that you have to reinvent yourself when you retire, and it really is true. You have to reinvent yourself. You have to be comfortable with um, doing new things, finding new things, not doing the same thing that you did all the time. You have to
yeah,
really reinvent yourself. So,
yeah.
yeah. So,
You find, and where do you find, like, I know with you, it was a lot of, it was getting out of that, when we were working together, it was getting out of that doing mindset. And where do you feel, like, share with
yeah.
our audience, like, where you felt that came from? And because I know that was always like a struggle, was the biggest struggle, was like,
Well, I think too, in my generation, um, you just moved on. You were always busy. Like I grew up on a farm. We were
mhm,
always busy. There was always something to do or that you were expected to be doing.
yeah,
Um, you start working when you're 24. Well, actually, I started when I was 15. I worked all summer when I was 15, 16, 17, all the way through university. And then you get a job. And that was just what was expected. You were expected to be doing something. You were expected to be working, contributing, making money, raising a family. And really, that becomes your whole life. Your kids become your life, working becomes your life, your family becomes your life, your husband becomes your life.
mhm,
And you have to, it's really hard to get out of that mindset and
yeah,
be okay with it. you know,
yeah.
I think it's being okay with it. Um, I remember sitting watching a movie for 2 hours in the middle of the afternoon. And, you know,
Oh, juicy.
I was so stressed out about this. And it's like, why? You're retired. You have nothing else to do. Why should I feel guilty for watching a movie for 2 hours in the middle of the afternoon? And
Mhm,
so now I can do that. Um,
yeah,
but again, it's a process. It takes a long time
yeah,
to, let go of all those people in the back of your head saying, no, you need to be doing something. You need to be productive. You need to um, be productive and do something.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, it is so challenging, especially in our culture. Like it's our childhood, it's our like it's our culture, like it's like this capitalistic system that is like it's
yeah,
nonstop, right?
yeah. But yeah, and I think it's also women and men in my age group were always taught you work, and if something happens, you just suppress everything and move on.
Yes.
Like you just move on.
Yeah.
And um, you have to get over that. You have to say it's okay.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
did you find, like, I know with you we did a lot of the inner child work. Maybe how did you find that? Can you describe that to the people watching? Like
Um,
going into the feelings and how that was for you, and recognizing what's underneath.
that was hard. I'm not going to lie. That was really hard. Um, but I think that's where I learned that um, we were forced, well, not forced. I don't think forced is the right word. We were um, expected to deal with whatever problem you had immediately and then move on.
Yes.
And it wasn't always accepted that you're going to wallow in something for 2, 3, 4 days,
Yes.
because that just wasn't going to happen. You needed to move on,
Yes.
get over it, move on. And I think just that whole inner child thing was really, it was really hard, because I felt like I was almost negating
Yeah.
is the word, that what I was taught,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
so yeah, so that was hard.
Yeah. Yeah. It's,
Yeah.
I know it goes against every cell in our body. Sometimes when we're doing these shifts, it's like what we've been taught in our childhood is like becomes
Mhm.
our life story. And
Yes.
everything in our world is kind of a reflection of that, or even our friends, even our,
Mhm.
if we're not used to being emotional around them, or we're not used to being, you know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like like this work really sometimes is like, it's about meeting ourselves for the very first time.
Yeah, and especially in my, you know, at my age, it's like, really?
You're like, are we really talking about our childhood still?
Yeah. Yeah. Really? But yeah, that was hard. Yeah. But
That's awesome.
I've learned something from it.
Yeah,
So,
that's amazing. And
yeah.
tell us a little bit more about maybe what you learned with like nutrition and food and this kind of
Yeah, yeah, that you know, I've raised 3 kids. I thought I knew about food. What was healthy, what was not healthy. Um, but it really, you really helped me understand that maybe what was nutritious wasn't nutritious for me.
Mhm.
Um, like I learned that there were dry foods and moist foods. Who knew? I didn't. And depending on how your body's feeling at the time, depends on what you're eating. Like, turmeric and ginger and cinnamon, they're all supposed to be wonderful foods and really healthy foods for you, but not for me, because I was hot.
Yeah.
So I need more cooling foods like the peppermint and the foods that are going to cool my body rather than heat it up.
Yes.
But you also taught me how to change that. Like, it could be different in winter than it is in the summertime. So,
Yeah, I
uh,
know. You remember with you, it was challenging because you were always um, on the border.
yeah, like, yeah, I didn't fit into any real category.
Yeah. Darla's
Story of,
complex. She's very
story of my life.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was that kind of thing about food and those types of things, and that my tongue isn't fuzzy. I don't like fuzzy tongues. You know that.
Yeah, that's the for sure you'll get out of working with me is you'll have less fur. Less fur.
Fur. Yeah. Furry tongues.
Less
I don't
tongue
like
fur.
furry.
And what do you feel like your relationship with food has been now? Like, how do you feel that has changed your life and this kind of thing?
Um, guilt.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of guilt, and some days there still is a lot of guilt around food.
Yeah.
What you know is healthy, what you know you should be eating, what the latest trends are in food, no carbs, keto diet, all of this kind of stuff you hear and think, oh, maybe I should be doing this, maybe I should be doing that. But I think you helped me see that um, I don't have to feel guilty about what I eat, who I am, what I do. It's that guilt that I think I am trying to shed,
Yeah.
and that I don't have to feel guilty about eating carbs, eating chocolate chip cookies. You go with how you feel for the day.
Mhm.
And this week, some days I felt, yeah, I'm going to have my smoothie in the morning because that's how I was feeling. It was okay. Like, I can do this. And other days it's like, no, I'm eating a bowl of cereal this morning.
Yeah, right. And that can be fun.
Yeah. So I think it's just my relationship with food is less guilt.
Which is so nice.
Yeah. And I think that is my biggest relationship with food.
Yes.
It's being okay with eating whatever I want and being okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's amazing. That's amazing. And that's such a great way to live, like where you start to like, because sometimes it's like we think this food is, we think the food is the problem, like eating the bowl of cereal, but like
right
living with our thoughts about eating the bowl of cereal
is
is way more impactful.
yeah,
Has way more of a negative impact in the body than just eating that bowl of cereal,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
that it you got to be okay with what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's amazing. And what else was I going to ask you? It was about, oh yeah, it was about being retired and how you feel. How do you feel now that you're retired and you have less guilt? And I know for you, it was always struggling with like there was a big thing around having a purpose, wanting to have a purpose.
Yeah, that was my biggest thing with retirement was all of a sudden being a teacher for so long,
Hmm.
there was no purpose.
Yeah.
And I think in our talks and in our discussions, I had to realize that I really don't need a purpose. That's me saying that.
It just
That
is like,
I'm okay with me.
who are you?
I know, I know. I'm okay with me.
Mm,
And we did a lot around like I am enough.
I'm enough.
I don't need a purpose, and I think that's kind of become my mantra is that I am enough. I also have like my two boys have moved away from, and they live in BC, and it's like all of a sudden, oh my gosh, are they leaving me? Am I the problem? And it's like, no, it was their choice. I am enough. Um, so there was a
Yes.
lot of we talked a lot about that too. But I think the biggest thing is that I
Dealing
am
with that and dealing with that abandonment issue of
exactly
feeling that abandonment with your
people
children.
leaving. Yeah, yeah. So it's their choice. They didn't leave me. I am enough. I have an amazing life. I have an amazing husband. I'm enough. You
Yeah.
know, I don't need my kids to be happy. I don't need my job to,
Whoa. Can you just
you
say
know,
that again? That for everything out there.
like my kids are everything to me. They
Yeah.
really are. My grandkids are everything to me. But I have to be enough on my own.
Yes.
I I have to be happy with me, who I am, and
Hmm.
they are just a huge, huge benefit from this great, amazing life that I have.
This is it. I don't need my kids to be happy. That is a Byron Katie book right there because it's just like
Yeah, yeah. So
because there's so many mothers out there. I was just seriously talking to a client the other day. It was and so many us mothers like we care for our kids for so long,
yes,
and then when they go away, so much of our own happiness is invested in them and our
yeah,
power, right?
right. That's right. And that wasn't easy either. I mean, you
Yeah.
have to. Um, I love my kids. I love my grandchildren to death. But they have to move on with their lives, and I have to move on with mine. And
Yeah.
it's tough. It's
Yeah.
tough coming to that realization, but it's the way it is, and you have to, be okay with yourself. and not tie your happiness to your kids.
Mhm.
Or your husband or anybody else. Or my dog.
Right? No, but that's so true. It's so true. It's like, even when we go into partnerships with our significant others, like there's always there's like this thing of an expectation. Oh, this person's now going to make me happy. And that's,
Right.
there's a funny quote by Byron Katie, and she says, I think I shared it with you before, and it was like, somebody asked, like, why do people get married? And she's like, to realize that you are the love of your
Yeah. True. You have to be.
life.
You have to be
Yeah.
number one. And as women, as mothers, as grandmothers, we're not always number one.
Yeah.
But we have to make ourselves number one.
Yeah. Exactly. Wow. That was
So,
amazing. I'm so proud of you.
thank you.
I'm just like,
Yeah, no, but you've really helped me see a few things,
yeah.
come to
Oh,
realize that I
yeah.
needed.
Oh, that's amazing. And I remember too, and we helped to get rid of some of your hot flashes and
Yeah, the
all.
hot flashes, the sleeping, the who knew that you woke up at different times of the night because different parts of your body were not functioning properly,
Yes.
So yeah, so that Codenopsis, me and Codenopsis, we're best friends. We're just so close.
Yeah. Every time Darla we come for a session, it'd be like, you need code enough again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
again, probably still.
They're lovers. They're lovers more.
Yeah,
Kind of thing going on.
yeah, we got a thing. So yeah, but
Aw.
the herbs and things help to balance
Mhm.
what was going on, and I think that helped as well, finding balance in
That's amazing.
everything, in everything, in the
Yeah.
emotional part, in the um, not feeling guilty part, in the physical being, like just to find a good balance.
Yeah. That's amazing. And what would you say to anyone that is like thinking about joining the program or working with me? What would you say to them um, if you could reach out?
It's worth it. Um, it's not easy. But nothing worth doing and worth doing well is ever easy. Um, I, I learned a lot, and I'm still learning, and I love that. And you are so what's the word? Non-confrontational, which I love, but
Mhm.
accepting. It doesn't matter what I came in with.
Mhm.
You met me where I was
Mhm.
without judgment. And that's, I think, what I appreciate the most is that there's no judgment. It's like, okay, this is where you are today. What are we going to do about it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's no judgment. And there's so much judgment in this world, to go someplace and not have that judgment and be able to say, okay, I feel like a bag of dirt today.
And I'd be like, that's awesome.
Awesome. That's great. Let's just sit here on our bag of
How
dirt.
shitty can you feel today?
Let's just sit here and we'll just hang out in this bag of dirt. you know so I think that's what I appreciate the most, is that
Oh,
you validate what
yeah.
I'm feeling and not saying, no, you shouldn't feel that.
Yeah.
You shouldn't feel that way. Well, why can't I feel that way if that's what I really feel?
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
not easy, but it's still worth it.
Awesome.
Worth it.
I love
So
it.
yeah.
And I just want to commend you. You just did all the work. You were one of those clients that was truly committed and you would always, that's what I loved about you. And that's why you got the results too, because you were consistent. You were consistent, and you were open, and you were coachable too. Like you
Yeah.
were curious. You were always, you had that kind of teacher. It's funny. You had that kind of teacher. A lot of my clients are like that. Very, what's the word? Driven, very
Right.
driven and determined. And you put the effort in,
Yeah.
and you would think about things. You would contemplate it, be like this, and you would ask
Yeah.
questions. And yeah,
Well, I love learning new things, and this was, I'm not going to lie, this is outside my traditional comfort zone. And when, but it's true. I think there's so much more out there than just your traditional medicine and traditional ways of doing things. And I love that, there are other alternatives, and these alternatives work. And
yeah,
that's what I loved about it.
that's so
Still love about it.
yeah. Well, yeah, you become it. It really does change our lives on a, like, we become more spiritual or connected, or yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so
So
cool.
thank you.
Thank you, and just thanks for taking the time today. I really appreciate it. My community appreciates it. Like, I just can't say it enough. I just,
Yeah. So,
mm,
yeah. I am enough.
I am enough. And that's,
That's your mantra.
I was thinking of your t-shirt, because like, it's so funny. I'm getting all these t-shirts made for my clients, like sweaters. And I think I got to write down one for you. And yours is like, fuck purpose.
Really, eh? Yeah. Yeah. Why do we need a purpose? This is
But
life. Just let it go.
it's, oh my God, it's so funny. One of my favorite teachers, what's his Zen like teachers, is Alan Watts, and he always talks about having a purposeless existence.
Yeah.
It's so funny. So I love you. I will talk to you probably really soon, probably next week.
Okay.
And thank you for taking the time.
Thanks, Susan.
I'm so grateful. I'll talk to you soon.